expensive it is to keep up with content creation? You can get a 10K check from Twitch. What the fuck is a 10K check when you gotta spend 5K on trips just to travel, $500 on setup shit, fucking $2,000 on your rent, $200 on Wi-Fi, $200 on IRL toolkit, you gotta pay the clippers, pay a YouTube editor. Chat, I don't think y'all realizing I be going in the negative doing this shit, okay?
Oh my god, you don't make enough money, not enough money. Good morning, everyone. Now, it was one topic that people really hate hearing about online is the idea of big streamers not making enough money. Holy shit. I remember back when FaZe Lazy talked about it, and he made a pretty funny clip about it. That was hilarious. But I think now at this point, it become more ironic that people, use as like a rage bait tactic to piss you off and make it popular online. And I'm going to show an example of that because one person, a somewhat mid-sized streamer called Snowwcone, talked about it. And I think this clip I'm going to show might be rage bait, but it's actually interesting nonetheless. So she talked about, how she gets like a 10K check from Twitch monthly or whatever, and even that's not enough. I watched this clip, before, and I'll show like, the some part of a stream. I think this part might be rage bait, like I said before, but there are parts here that don't make sense. I'll break it down in a second.
Y'all know how expensive it is to keep up with content creation? You can get a 10K check from Twitch.
Also, but fuck the editor who added like a sound effects. It's so annoying.
What the fuck is a 10K check when you gotta spend 5K on trips just to travel, $500 on setup shit, fucking $2,000 on your rent, fucking $200 on Wi-Fi, $200 on IRL toolkit, you gotta pay the clippers, pay a YouTube editor. Chat, I don't think y'all realizing I be going in the negative doing this shit, okay?
Now, when you watch her by Sarah, you'd be like, oh my god, she's so ungrateful, all that stuff. Because admittedly, right, no matter where you are in life, 10K is really good for anyone. But there are parts in here that I agree with somewhat, but other parts just make no sense. Now, what I do agree with, right, is, paying editors and rent. I'm not sure like what state she lives in America, but 2K for rent, yeah, it's plausible, it's possible, all that shit. Paying editors, if you're a streamer, that's really important. If you have editors and clippers, like that makes you like, that creates way more content about you and gets your brand, your name out there. That's fine. Now, what I think is bullshit, the travel part, the stream setup, and the stream setup and the Wi-Fi. Right, so I watch a bit of this person. It seems like, most of her content, most of like her big stuff, the thing that gets views is going to parties, like different places, whatever. So I guess like I'm not also, but real quick, I'm not sure if she means like, 5K, since her lifetime, since her career, or like 5K monthly. Like she goes out so often that the plane tickets, the Ubers make her like 5K a month. I'm not sure. But either way, that's a lot. Okay, like let's say like hypothetically, monthly, right? That makes no sense. Like, where the fuck are you flying to? And how often are you flying there? That makes 5K a month. Like, it costs you 5K, sorry. That makes no sense. I get what you mentioned in a second, right? How she wants to network. Because you see in a second, why she does that so much. But even that makes no sense. But then, apart from that, the stream setup, yeah, I think some parts of her setup, whatever, her PC, her whatever, that would be $500. However, right, if it's a month, if you're paying it, if you buy it once, you don't have to pay monthly for it. It's a one-time purchase. That's it. And then last of all, who pays $400 for Wi-Fi? It makes no sense. I mean, it says Wi-Fi / IRL toolkit. Again, if it's a one-time purchase, you don't pay monthly for that. It makes no sense, right? So that, I would make a video about this. If it was just this clip, 29 seconds. That's not that much. So I tuned into like her last VOD from where this came from, and she talked about it more. And like the more you watch, it does make sense. But again, there are some parts of her doctrine as a streamer that I don't really agree with, that make no sense. I'll play from this part. Also, again, if she one thing I learned from her from this VOD is that she won't shut the fuck up about her taking care of her boyfriend. Like over and over, I was watching this. And she was like, oh my god, when I'm rich, I'm gonna take care of my boyfriend, all that stuff. It became so fucking... hopefully she won't bring it up now, because if she does, it'll be fucking excruciating. But let me play, like a short snippet of it.
Loves me, and you are just a random person on the internet. Anyways. So, oh my god, wait, I lost track of time. Oh my god, Jason, shut up. Listen. We are at a stage where all of the money gets reinvested in the career. Okay? Obviously, I'm gonna bless my boyfriend when I'm rich. Jason, unlike you, who probably has never had a girlfriend in your whole life.
Never mind.
But I'm gonna take care of my man when I get mad money.
Never fucking mind.
And he'll just be able to sit at home playing video games for the rest of his life. Because I'm gonna take care of him. So, I think my man's good. But, all my money from streaming goes back into streaming. Okay? All my money goes back into streaming.
Now, okay, like
I think this.
I can't comment much on that because I haven't seen like much of her streams. If she has like you know Kai-san level like streaming setups where like, you know she's going to places doing parties, that would make sense. However, if you're a small streamer like her, around 70k followers on Twitch, it's better you do like more regular content that's way cheaper and doesn't cost you monthly to make. I have no idea what she's making, you know, for it to go on a negative, paying for it.
This month I made negative $1,000 because every penny has gone to trips, paying editors, paying clippers, or buying shit for the setup, or buying food or plane tickets, or stuff to make content.
Wait,
That
makes no sense. Okay, every penny goes back to the content. How's food part of the content? Yeah, you do mukbangs, or like you mean like, you know, for yourself, you buy snacks. That means, oh, I'm paying for the food, you know, that goes back to like the content. Like what?
Like, even though you make like your Twitch paycheck could be what, 11k a month, but when you've had to spend 5k on just trip.
Guys, if you're a Twitch, you know, drama frog, whatever, if you know like the setup behind this, does she really get like 11k a month from Twitch at just around 80k followers? Is that real? I mean, that's pretty good actually, even then by itself.
Trips alone to travel to make connects. When you've had to spend, I have 3k a month in just bills alone, just survivability, rent, okay, Wi-Fi, food, phone.
That makes sense. I can believe that, you know, 3k in rent and bills. Yeah, that sounds plausible. Fuck, sorry.
All that shit, 3k a month. When you have to pay for all this shit to upgrade your setup, all that shit. Motherfuckers don't see that. And I'm not complaining. Like, that's the shit that has to be done to become a better streamer. Of course. But nobody sees inside that shit. You know what I'm saying? You can save money by editing yourself, but there's no I don't have time to edit myself.
No.
That's the thing.
Okay, now I may not agree with her, you know, for like her spending 5k a month on traveling, but that part I agree with. If you're like a big editor, a big streamer, then, you know, and you spend like 5 hours, 6 hours a day streaming, and you have a full-time job aside that, yeah, you have like zero time at all to like go edit your own shit. If you can find editors and clippers at a reasonable price, do that instead. That's infinitely better. I have no idea how much he's paying those editors, but you know, if you practice some, you know, some negotiation, you can probably like tone down the paycheck, and then now not like too much, you know, to make them slaves, but a good reasonable amount that you're not getting scammed. You know, if I were her, I would like, you know, spend some time negotiating, or if not, you know, just find new people. Because in my opinion, editors and clippers do not cost that much. You know, it can't be that hard. Also, I've never seen like a Twitch streamer get an editor that really does some heavy lifting. All they do is just simply, you know, like download the vault of Twitch and just cut it up. That's it, you know. Some minimal work, but like, you know, not like huge bits of effort. You shouldn't be paying them that much, in my opinion.
Investment to have people edit for me, than for me to spend 6 hours a day editing for myself. I don't have the time. I stream for 8 hours a day. Like, there's no time to edit for myself. I'm on meetings 4 hours a day. We're usually traveling or something. Keep in mind, this is like the 1 week where I've actually been home, but usually we're out doing IRLs. Like, there's genuinely no time to edit for myself at this stage. Like, people who average this amount of viewers, they do not edit for themselves anymore. That's like, I did edit for myself till I averaged like 200 viewers. But that's the thing. Motherfuckers don't see. My man loves me, Zasins. All of the clips on the internet are just clips. That's what you need to know. I'm not kidding. I watched this goddamn woman for like 30 minutes. She won't shut the fuck about her boyfriend. Let me skip through a bit. Just give me a second. Are you done? Keep talking about it, bruh. Because my man's gonna be blessed. My man's not gonna have a single stress in his life.
Also, guys, her voice is so annoying. He says bruh all the time in the most annoying way possible. Holy fuck.
Like, mind your business.
Mind your business.
But, anyways, when he's confronting you, that's not a skit. He's never confronted me on camera. Nothing was.
Are we done? Are we done? Yeah, and she muted her own mic. Okay, there's no way like this woman's professional.
She makes this a month. She makes that a month. It's like, bro, I didn't make any profit this month. if you guys are that curious and pocket watching.
Now again, like, you know, I'm gonna like criticize her for a bit. I don't really know like the full prospect of like her career and like what she makes. She might make, you know, some IRL stuff. However, in my opinion, right, whatever you make, like as a streamer, or you're doing like whatever content, you should be like, you know, managing your shit good enough that you're making profit. If not, then what the fuck are you doing? Like if it's for, you know, for your own enjoyment, fine, whatever. But if you're making like nearly 10k or 11k whatever from Twitch monthly, you should like manage your own shit better. That you're making profit. You definitely could. And again, like if you're doing content that costs you that much, like traveling or getting taxis, Ubers, you're doing IRL stuff, then you probably find like a new niche to make, like gaming or, you know, just chatting. Because that's a really bad way like to keep making a career where you're going in the red monthly from just fucking traveling around. That's a really bad setup in my opinion. Like she does play like some Marvel Rivals, all that stuff. But again, you know, if you're going out so often to different states, different parts of the country, then, you know, it probably can be like that long lasting or sustaining if it costs you that much. Just saying.
Deadass. I didn't make any profit this month. That's shit, but that's the reality. That's how it is. Like, but that's what you had to do. That's what I had to do to make these connects. It's just part of the fucking game, bro.
Also, you know, I think she brings up the networking now about how she makes connections at parties. Now, in my opinion, right, there are better ways to make connections, you know, that don't involve you going to parties. Like you can easily like make friends or, you know, make connections online. You know, you don't have to be at a party 24/7 to meet people. You just don't, in my opinion.
It's part of the game.
Like take that from me, you know, as a random nobody commentary channel who barely has like 1k subs. Take it from me.
It's part of the game. Treat your guy better. He deserves it. I treat my man just fine.
I don't give a f. Oh my god.
My man's very unplanned. Nothing. Absolutely nothing you guys have seen from us has been. I think we're finally done now, you know. She shut up again, you know, like this segment, you know, it came from like her watching the new FaceTime video, you know. Oh, what's harder, being a 9-to-5 worker or a streamer? That video's really funny, but like, you know, it didn't inspire her rant about like how she goes in the red, she doesn't make any money. But overall, okay, so like, what do I really believe about her as a character, as a streamer, and her doctrine of spending money? Now, I respect some parts of it, like, you know, paying the editors and clippers, because, you know, that's a good way to grow. But like, unless, you know, I know more about her, I think some parts of the story don't make any sense, you know, or like her setup as a streamer. Like, I'm not really sure like if she does spend 5k on traveling alone, or if she even like gets, you know, 10k a month from Twitch. I have no idea. But, you know, bear in mind, if it's not true, yeah, it might be rage bait. But if it is, I beg you, you know, please sort out your shit better, where you're not spending that much monthly to go to parties, whatever. Like, I promise you, there are better ways to grow as a streamer apart from just going to parties and spending $5,000 a month traveling. Just do some fucking gaming. It's that easy. Just saying.
¿Te gusta ver vídeos divertidos de Azul?